Hey everyone, welcome back to the show.
Hello, hello. We are so happy you are here today.
Alice, today we're tackling a topic that's on everyone's mind, climate change, but not just the problem, the solutions.
Ooh, solutions. That's good. It can be easy to feel overwhelmed by climate change, so focusing on what people are actually doing sounds much more positive.
Exactly. Today's article is titled Adapting to the Effects of Climate Change.
Adapting to the effects of climate change. Just from that title, I'm already thinking about floating houses, maybe super strong walls against rising seas, or even new kinds of crops that can grow in difficult conditions. What else could it be, David?
Great guesses. It could also be about cities changing their designs to handle more heat, or how communities are working together to protect their local environment. Maybe even some really clever low-tech solutions.
I love that. Let's dive in and see what real-world adaptations this article actually covers.
Here is what we will do today. In Part 1, we read the passage together. In Part 2, we learn the 8 skills. In Part 3, we do a quick review, and in Part 4, we practice together with real questions.
4 parts, 8 skills, and a lot of inspiring solutions. This is going to be a good episode.
Let's start. Okay, welcome to Part 1. This is the reading passage. The title is Adapting to the Effects of Climate Change.
Don't worry about the title yet. We will explain everything as we go.
I will read each paragraph slowly. After each paragraph, Alice will explain the main idea in simple English, B1 or B2 level. Then we move on.
Think of it like watching a movie with subtitles, but for your ears. Ready? Let's read.
All around the world, nations are already preparing for and adapting to climate change. Even if we stopped all CO2 emissions tomorrow, we would continue to see the impact of the CO2 already released, with scientists forecasting that global warming would continue for around 40 years. Some countries will suffer more extreme impacts from these changes than others. It's in these places that innovation is thriving.
Okay, let me explain that in simple English. Around the world, countries are already changing how they live because of climate change. Even if we stopped all pollution today, scientists predict that global warming would still continue for about 40 years. Some places will be hit harder than others, and those places are where new ideas are growing fast. That is the main idea of paragraph A.
One important word, forecasting. Forecasting means predicting or saying what will happen in the future. So, scientists forecasting means scientists are predicting.
Forecasting. Predicting the future. Say it with me. Forecasting. You know, it's a bit like when you throw a stone in a pond, the ripples keep going even after you let go of the stone. Even if we stop, the effects continue. It's a powerful image.
It truly is. Anyway, let's keep going with the passage. In Miami Beach, Florida, USA, seawater is seeping up through the ground, so the only way to save the city is to lift it up. Roads have been raised by as much as 61 centimeters. This was part of Miami Beach's stormwater management program. The city has also set up new pumps that can remove up to 75,000 liters of water per minute. Yanira Pineda, a senior sustainability coordinator, says more work will be needed in the future to adjust to the changing environment.
Great. Paragraph B gives us a real example, Miami Beach. The city has a problem because seawater is coming up from underground, so they are raising the roads by over a meter. They also installed big pumps to remove water quickly. An expert there, Yanira Pineda, says they will need even more work in the future.
Stormwater management program. This means a plan or system to control water from heavy rain or storms to prevent flooding.
So it's basically a city's plan to deal with super heavy rain and rising water. Got it. So quick recap before we move on. Paragraph A was about adapting to climate change generally, and paragraph B gave us the example of Miami Beach raising roads and adding pumps.
In Java, Indonesia, seawalls often collapse, making coastal erosion worse. Many tried to restore mangroves, which are trees and shrubs that help defend coastlines by trapping dirt and reducing wave energy. However, Susanna Toll of Wetlands International says that most mangrove planting projects fail. So her organization built semi-permeable dams from bamboo to help mangroves grow back naturally. Toll believes that for long-term success, we need approaches that use natural processes and involve local communities.
Okay, the word however tells us the paragraph is changing direction to another challenge. In Indonesia, seawalls don't work well and the coast is disappearing faster. People tried to plant mangroves, which are special trees that protect the coast by catching dirt and making waves weaker. But most of these projects failed. So, Susanna Toll's group built special bamboo walls called semi-permeable dams that let some water through to help the mangroves grow back by themselves. She thinks we need more natural ways that also involve local people.
Coastal erosion means the slow wearing away of land along the coast by water or wind. Semi-permeable means allowing some things to pass through but not others, like a coffee filter.
Quick question for you. No pressure. Just have a think. In Indonesia, did the first idea to protect the coast work well? The answer is no, it did not. The seawalls collapsed and most mangrove planting projects failed. If you got that right, nice one.
In the Mekong Delta, Vietnam, some houses were built to float as floodwaters rose. These amphibious houses were developed by the Buoyant Foundation Project. Founder Elizabeth English says this technology is becoming necessary in more places. It is also much cheaper than permanently raising houses.
This paragraph gives us another cool example from Vietnam. When the floods came, some houses actually floated up with the water. These are called amphibious houses, meaning they can live on land and water. The person who started this project, Elizabeth English, says this is becoming very important in many places now, and it's much cheaper than building houses higher up.
Amphibious is an interesting word. It means able to live both on land and in water, or able to operate on both land and water, like a frog is amphibious, or an amphibious vehicle. Okay, that is the full passage, 4 paragraphs. Let's quickly remember the structure in case your mind wandered anywhere along the way.
Paragraph A, the general situation, adapting to climate change. Paragraph B, Miami Beach, raising roads and pumps. Paragraph C, Indonesia, mangroves and bamboo dams. Paragraph D, Vietnam, floating houses. Okay, that was our reading passage. How did you feel? Did you catch most of it?
If you didn't catch everything, that is completely normal, especially if you were half listening while doing something else. The goal was never to understand every single word. The goal was just to get the general shape of each paragraph and the key examples.
General idea, Miami, Indonesia, Vietnam. If you remember those main points, you have already done something very useful.
And now we are going to learn the 8 skills that help you read any passage like this faster and more confidently. Let's go to part 2.
Welcome to part 2. This is the main part of today's episode, the 8 reading skills.
8 skills you can use in your next IELTS exam or even in everyday English reading. Are you ready?
Let's begin with skill 1.
Okay, skill number 1, David?
Skill number 1. Skim the whole passage first before you read carefully.
Skim? You mean read it fast?
Yes, very fast. Don't stop for difficult words. Just get the general idea of each paragraph. So, for our climate change passage, what's the general idea?
Paragraph A introduces the problem and the general idea of adaptation. Paragraph B talks about Miami. Paragraph C talks about Indonesia. Paragraph D talks about Vietnam.
Oh, so it's basically general, Miami, Indonesia, Vietnam. That's the same shape we just reviewed a moment ago.
Exactly. And once you know that shape, finding answers becomes much faster.
Why does that help so much?
Because if a question asks about floating houses, you already know. That's probably in paragraph D, about Vietnam. You don't need to search the whole text.
That makes a lot of sense. I always used to read the whole thing first. No more.
Here's a tip. When you skim, only read the first sentence of each paragraph. That sentence usually tells you what the paragraph is about.
Say this with me. Skim first.
Skill number 2, always read the questions first before you scan for answers.
Wait, isn't that obvious?
You'd think so, but many students start reading the passage in detail before they even know what they're looking for.
Ah, so they waste time reading things they don't need.
Exactly. If the question asks about pumps in Miami, you already know which words to look for.
So the question guides the reading, not the other way around.
Perfectly said. The question is your map. Read the map before you start walking.
The question is your map. Say it with me. The question is your map. Okay, skill 3.
Scan for keywords. Don't read every word. Let your eyes jump to the important ones.
What counts as a keyword?
Names, numbers, dates, and unusual words. For example, in our passage, Miami Beach, Indonesia, Vietnam, 40 years, 61 centimeters.
So if a question asks about a specific country, I just scan for capital letters?
Exactly. Your eyes move down the page quickly, like a camera, looking for the important things.
Like a camera. My eyes are a camera. I love that.
Numbers and dates are always easy to spot. If a question mentions 61 centimeters, your eyes will find it very quickly.
All right, quick pit stop. So far we've got skim first, questions are your map, and now eyes like a camera for keywords. 3 down, 5 to go.
Skill 4 is a really useful one. Watch for paraphrasing.
What do you mean by paraphrasing?
The question will almost never use the exact same words as the passage. It will use synonyms instead.
Can you give me an example from our climate change passage?
Sure. The passage says, nations are already preparing for and adapting to climate change. A question might say, countries are getting ready for the impacts of global warming.
Oh, nations becomes countries, and preparing for and adapting to becomes getting ready for the impacts.
Exactly. Same meaning, different words.
That sounds hard.
It gets easier with practice, honestly. The skill is simply, don't look for the same words, look for the same meaning.
Say that again, David. I want to remember it.
Don't look for the same words, look for the same meaning.
Don't look for the same words, look for the same meaning. Say it with me.
Skill 5.
Find the topic sentence. Usually, the first sentence of a paragraph tells you what the whole paragraph is about.
So in paragraph C, the first sentence says, in Java, Indonesia, seawalls often collapse, making coastal erosion worse.
Right. So immediately, you know, this paragraph is about a problem in Indonesia.
So I don't need to read the whole paragraph carefully unless the question is about problems in Indonesia.
Exactly right. The topic sentence is like a sign on a door. It tells you what is inside before you opened a door.
Let's practice. Listen to this first sentence. What is the paragraph about?
In Miami Beach, Florida, USA, seawater is seeping up through the ground, so the only way to save the city is to lift it up.
The paragraph is about Miami Beach and how they are trying to save the city. That is paragraph B. Did you get it right?
Skill 6 is the one that trips learners up the most, but it's really just a small logic puzzle. True, false, not given questions.
Oh no, I always get confused with not given.
Everyone does it first. Here is the key difference.
True means the passage says the same thing as the statement.
False means the passage says the opposite.
Not given means the passage simply does not mention it.
So, not given does not mean false. It just means the passage is silent. No information.
Exactly. The passage is silent. Say it with me. The passage is silent. And here's a little trick this question type likes to play. Sometimes the statement says all or always, but the passage only talks about some. That's usually a false. The statement went too far.
Ooh, so watch out for words like all, every, always, never. Good tip.
Okay, let me test you. Here is a statement. All seawalls in Indonesia are strong and effective.
The passage says seawalls often collapse in Java, Indonesia, so that is false Because the passage says the opposite.
Correct. Now try this one. The Buoyant Foundation Project started in 2000.
The passage mentions the Buoyant Foundation Project developed amphibious houses in Vietnam, but it doesn't say when it started. It doesn't mention the year 2000. So the answer is not given. The passage is silent about the exact start year.
Perfect. You just used skill 6 correctly.
Skill 7?
Manage your time. If one question is taking too long, skip it and come back later.
But isn't it bad to leave a question unanswered?
It's worse to spend 5 minutes on one hard question and lose time for 5 easy ones.
Oh, so one hard question can cost you many easy points.
Exactly. Always guess something, mark it, and move on. You can come back at the end if you have time.
A good rule of thumb, roughly 1.5 minutes per question. If you're still stuck after that, move on and come back later.
And our last skill, skill 8, guess unknown words from context. You will never know every word, and that is completely normal.
Oh, that is so good to hear.
For example, imagine you don't know the word seeping in our passage about Miami, but the sentence talks about seawater seeping up through the ground. It talks about water moving slowly.
So I can guess seeping must mean something like water slowly coming up. I don't need the exact definition. I just need enough to understand the main idea.
Exactly. Context is the words around the unknown word. Use those words as clues.
Say this with me. Use context clues.
And that is skill 8, and all 8 skills done.
Wow, 8 skills. That was a lot, but I feel much more confident now.
You should. These are real practical skills that every good IELTS reader uses.
And the important thing is, these skills work together. Skim, read the questions, scan for keywords, paraphrasing, topic sentence, true, false, not given, time management, context clues. They are a team.
All 8 working together. Let's go review them quickly.
Before we move on to part 3, David, where can students practice these reading logic skills?
Definitely check out IELTSlogic.com. It offers full reading passage breakdowns, listening practice, and speaking logic chain training.
That's awesome! Built by system architects to sharpen your analytical thinking. Visit IELTSlogic.com today.
Welcome to part 3. Quick review, no pressure, just a fun recap. I will quiz Alice and you can try to answer along with her. Ready?
Ready. I will remember all 8. Watch me, or maybe I'll make a fun mistake.
Okay, Alice, I'm going to quiz you. Skill 1, what do we do first when we get a passage?
Read every single word very carefully twice?
No, that's the opposite. Skim first. Get the big picture.
Right. Skim first. I knew that. Okay, my turn. Skill 2.
Read the questions before you scan.
Yes, and for skill 3, we scan for keywords, not full sentences.
Perfect. What about skill 4, the one about different words but same meaning?
That's paraphrasing. Don't look for the same words, look for the same meaning.
Excellent. And skill 5, what's that sentence called but tells you what the whole paragraph is about?
The topic sentence, like a sign on a door.
You're doing great. Now for skill 6, the tricky one. What are the 3 options for true, false, not given?
True, false, and not given. And remember, not given means the passage is silent.
Exactly. 2 more. Skill 7 is about time.
Manage your time. Don't get stuck on one question for too long.
And finally, skill 8, for when you see a word you don't know.
Guess unknown words from context. Use the words around it as clues.
8 skills. I think I got them all this time.
Well, almost. You nearly said read every word at the start.
That one doesn't count. I was warming up. Now, if you feel like it, try saying all 8 out loud yourself. No pressure. Even remembering 4 or 5 is great.
However you did, that is genuine progress. 8 skills reviewed, quickly and clearly.
Remember, you don't need to memorize the names. You need to do them. Skills are actions, not words.
Alice, a quick reminder for our listeners before we head into part 4. Yes, for complete reading sentence analysis, synonym replacements, and solution pathways, head over to IELTSlogic.com.
It's designed by IELTS experts to help you build clear logic. Check out IELTSlogic.com and boost your score. Now, the most important part, putting the skills into action. Let's go to part 4.
Welcome to part 4, practice time. We are going to use our passage about adapting to climate change. Remember, the one about general adaptation, Miami, Indonesia, and Vietnam, and I will ask you some real exam-style questions. Try to answer before we give you the answer, if you can. Say it out loud if you like. No pressure, though. Just listening carefully works too.
After each question, we pause. Then we go back to the passage, look at the exact line, and explain the answer. Statement 1. Scientists believe global warming will continue for around 40 years, even if carbon emissions cease immediately. Is this true, false, or not given?
Let's look back at paragraph A. The passage said, even if we stopped all CO2 emissions tomorrow, we would continue to see the impact of the CO2 already released, with scientists forecasting that global warming would continue for around 40 years. This matches our statement perfectly, so the answer is true. Statement 2. Mangrove planting projects are always successful in restoring coastal areas in Indonesia. Is this true, false, or not given?
Let's go back to paragraph C. The passage said, however, Susanna Toll of Wetlands International says that most mangrove planting projects fail. Our statement says they are always successful, which is the exact opposite of what the passage states. So the answer is false.
Statement 3. Miami Beach's new pumps run on solar energy. Is this true, false, or not given? Let's go back to paragraph B. The passage said, the city has also set up new pumps that can remove up to 75,000 liters of water per minute. It mentions the pumps and what they do, but it doesn't say how they are powered. We don't know if they use solar energy or something else, so the answer is not given. Okay, let's try a different type of question now. This time, fill in the blank. The stormwater management program in Miami Beach has involved the installation of efficient pumps.
Let's go back to paragraph B. The passage states, in addition to the road adaptations, the city has set up new pumps that can remove up to 75,000 liters of water per minute. The blank asks what was installed, and the passage clearly says pumps. So the answer is pumps.
I got all 4 right just by listening.
That is the skill working already. And notice, for each one, we didn't just spot the trap, we went back to the exact line that proves the answer. That's the habit worth building.
It actually feels manageable now. When I know the skills, the questions are not so scary.
That is exactly the goal. You don't need to understand every word. You need the right strategy and the habit of checking back against the text.
And now you have 8 strategies. You are ready.
So that is it for today. 8 reading skills and a fascinating passage about adapting to climate change.
Let's say all 8 one more time, fast. Skim. Questions first. Keywords. Paraphrasing. Topic sentence. True, false, not given. Time management. Context clues.
8 skills. Beautiful.
Before we go, say this with me. I have the right strategy.
I have the right strategy.
I have the right strategy.
Say it one more time if you like, because it's true.
Oh, before we go, one last fun fact about today's topic. Do you remember the cool pavement in Los Angeles we mentioned?
I do, the light gray coating.
Well, this special light gray pavement can actually reflect so much sunlight that it helps to cool nearby buildings, reducing the need for air conditioning. So it's not just cooling the streets, it's saving energy too.
Wow, that's a clever double win. Take that little fact with you. Until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.